Hey everyone, it's Samantha. From her fear of being in front of the camera to her numerous relationships, these are the things you didn't know about Kristen Stewart.
Number 14. Her parents. Kristen Stewart was born in April 1990 in Los Angeles, California, and she's currently 28 years old.
It isn't too surprising that she ended up in the movie industry because both of her parents were involved in the same business.
Her dad, Jon Stewart, is a television producer and stage manager. He worked for Comedy Central for the show Midnight with Chris Hardwick, which ran from 2013 to 2017, and for Fox. Her mom, Jules Mann Stewart, is a film director and script supervisor. She directed the movie K-11, a prison drama from 2012. Her mother is from Queensland, Australia, and Kristen noted that the country is one of her favorite places in the world. She said that she'd spent a significant amount of time in Australia and loves Noosa Heads, a small town on the Sunshine Coast, and even added that she has no problem with one of the nation's signature foods, stating, "I actually don't mind Vegemite. I know most Americans can't stand the smell, taste, or look of it, but I like it." Stewart also has 3 brothers named Cameron, Dana, and Taylor. The latter 2 were adopted. Number 13. Beginning. Since her parents were in the business, Kristen's passion for the film industry began at an early age. She started acting when she was just 8 years old after she was discovered by an agent during an elementary school Christmas play. She began auditioning for various roles and got a small part in The 13th Year, a Disney Channel movie, for which she had no lines. The next film she was in was The Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas as the ring toss girl. In 2001, Kristen acted in The Safety of Objects as a single mother's tomboyish daughter. A year after that, she got the part of tomboy daughter with diabetes in Panic Room alongside Jodie Foster and was nominated for a Young Artist Award. In 2003, she was in Cold Creek Manor with Sharon Stone and Dennis Quaid, earning another Young Artist Award nomination. Number 12. Rise to fame. It wasn't until she was 14 that Kristen Stewart got a starring role in the 2004 film Catch That Kid with Corbin Bleu and Max Theriot. That same year, she played Lila in Undertow, a drama thriller. A year later, Stewart got a role in the fantasy movie Zathura, a space adventure. In 2007, she portrayed Tracy in Sean Penn's adaptation of Into the Wild, and her performance garnered mixed reviews. Dennis Harvey, a critic from Variety, said, "It's unclear whether Stewart means to be playing hippie chick Tracy as vapid, or whether it just comes off that way." Around the same time, she co-starred in the film The Cake Eaters, which follows the reunion of 2 families and their deep-seated issues. Kristen's role in this film received many positive reviews and gained her more recognition even though it was only screened at film festivals. Number 11. Anxiety problems.
Kristen Stewart is known for her rebellious ways, unique acting style, and seemingly carefree attitude. But things haven't always been happy-go-lucky for the star. One reason is her struggle with anxiety.
During an interview with Elle UK, she spoke out about the problems she's faced with the disorder throughout her life. She said, "I went through so much stress and periods of strife, I would have panic attacks. I literally always had a stomach ache, and I couldn't anticipate what was going to happen in a given situation, so I'd be like, maybe I'm going to get sick. It's kind of remarkable. I just grew out of it, but that's not to say I don't get worried." Kristen later added in an interview with Marie Claire magazine, "I was constantly anxious. If I didn't know how something was going to turn out, I would make myself ill, or just be locked up, or inhibited in a way that was really debilitating." Since anxiety disorders are one of the most common mental issues in the United States, according to the ADAA, it shouldn't be too surprising that many celebrities deal with it as well. Number 10. JOAN JETT. One of the movies Kristen Stewart is lesser known for is The Runaways, a 2010 biographical film about JOAN JETT's first band that also follows her relationship with the member Sherry Curry. Kristen had the starring role as Jett in the movie, and Dakota Fanning played Curry.
Although the feature isn't her most well-recognized, she went the extra mile for preparing for her role as the rock star.
Vogue noted that she even flew to Seattle to see Jett perform during a New Year's Eve concert, and they ended up spending the entire night together. They hung out in Joan's hotel room discussing and playing music. Apparently, she even burned some live bootlegs and albums for Kristen and loaned her some tape-recorded messages she had made for her aunt at 13 years old. Stewart said, "She's just saying things like, 'I'm eating a microwave pizza now.' It's funny that this total rock star was once just like any other lazy teenager." She added regarding the film, "If I go out there and everyone's wearing shag haircuts like Joan, I'll know we did something right." The feature was well received and Kristen was praised for her work. JOAN JETT told Rolling Stone that looking at Kristen's performance was like looking into a mirror. Metro Times noted, "It turns out that Stewart is actually really good at capturing Jett's icy, tough but cool girl swagger, adding the needed touches of vulnerability that transform it into a pretty terrific performance. Stewart is a genuine rock star here." Number 9. Not perfect. Kristen Stewart had somewhat of a reputation of not looking happy, smiling, or showing any emotion for a long time after the Twilight series came out. However, her then-boyfriend, Robert Pattinson, pointed out that this just wasn't the case. In 2012, he said, "No matter how many times she smiles, they'll put in the one picture where she's not smiling." Stewart noted, "I have been criticized a lot for not looking perfect in every photograph." She added, "I'm not embarrassed about it, I'm proud of it. If I look perfect in pictures all the time, the people standing in the room with me or on the carpet would think, what an actress, what a faker. That thought embarrasses me so much that I don't look good in half my photos, and I don't care. What matters to me is that people in the room leave and say, she was cool, she had a good time, she was honest. You go, Kristen." Number 8. Director. Kristen Stewart is a multi-talented artist that seems to be overlooked a lot of the time. However, in 2017, her directorial debut took place with a short film titled Come Swim.
The feature is only 17 minutes long and artistically follows the course of a man's day. Many people believe that the short was about her relationship with Robert Pattinson.
She told the Los Angeles Times, "I wasn't fearful in confronting what this was about. I mean, I put a relationship right in the middle of it. I read through poems of mine from the past few years and I was like, I'm writing the same poem over and over again. If I don't make this movie, I can't move on." Number 7. Other dreams. Even though she's been extremely successful as an actress, there was a time when Kristen Stewart didn't want to be in front of the camera. This probably had something to do with her anxiety. But she noted later on, "I never wanted to be the center of attention. I wasn't that I want to be famous, I want to be an actor kid. I never sought out acting, but I always practiced my autograph because I love pens. I'd write my name on everything." She had dreams of becoming a director instead. Her original plans were accomplished through the short film we previously discussed. Number 6. Twilight. Kristen Stewart is most famous for her portrayal of Bella Swan in the Twilight film series. The first movie came out in 2008 and followed the development of Bella and Edward Cullen's romance. Edward, the handsome vampire, was of course played by none other than Robert Pattinson. Stewart went on to play the character in the following 4 films: New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn Parts 1 and 2. However, after her iconic role, Stewart moved on to doing films whose scripts truly drew her interest. In 2014, Clouds of Sils Maria was released with Kristen as Valentine. She ended up winning the French César Award for Best Supporting Actress, which is the equivalent of an Academy Award in the United States. Her other movies include Anesthesia, Certain Woman, Cafe Society, Personal Shopper, and Lizzie. According to IMDb, Stewart has won 48 awards so far and has another 67 nominations. Number 5. Barefoot. Kristen's unorthodox ways have gotten her a significant amount of attention throughout the years. One of the most famous examples of this was during the 2018 Cannes Film Festival.
The event requires that women wear high heels for years, and she doesn't agree with the policy along with many other celebrities. So she wore her black Louis Vuittons for a moment and then took them off on the red carpet.
She noted, "There's definitely a distinct dress code. People get very upset at you if you don't wear heels or whatever. If you're not asking guys to wear heels in a dress, then you can't ask me either." Number 4. Musician and singer. There's no denying that Kristen Stewart is skilled in many areas. She and Dakota Fanning even sang several of the songs for their film The Runaways. But you can listen to Stewart singing more clearly in the movie Into the Wild from 2007. She told Nylon in 2015, "I've always liked playing guitar and stuff, but I've really started playing music a lot this past year. That's always been intimidating for me. If you're good at one thing from a young age, it's like, well, that's what you're good at. It's hard to step out of that and explore other things because you're like, no, that's what I do." JOAN JETT told MTV in regards to The Runaways and Kristen's performance in the movie, "She's singing. She's definitely doing the singing, yeah. And during the filming, she was playing guitar. We went through it. I showed her the positions that I play, because guitar players use different hand positions on the boards. So I showed her how I played it, and she picked it up really well. She really embodied it." Number 3. In the Buff. Kristen appeared in a French indie film called Personal Shopper, which was directed by Oliver Assayas.
She noted that the director didn't acknowledge her in the buff scenes as different from many other scenes in the film.
Although she doesn't have an issue with performing without clothes, she thinks Americans don't appreciate it as much as the French do. Kristen explains that having no clothes could add strength to a character by literally and metaphorically making their whole selves visible. In particular, she felt that her scene in Personal Shopper shows how lonely her character is because she's actually talking to a fake person on the phone. Number 2. First relationships. Kristen Stewart has gotten about as much attention for her relationship as she has for her work. Back in 2005, she began dating Michael Angareno after they met on the set of Speak. The two dated for 4 years, calling it quits in 2009.
Perhaps her most well-known romance was with Robert Pattinson, her Twilight co-star. The pair were dating for about 3 years when news came out that she was unfaithful to him in 2012.
Photographs were publicly released of her and Rupert Sanders, the director of the film Snow White and the Huntsman, getting up close and personal. There was no question of whether or not the two had been romantic with each other because the pictures were proof of everything. Kristen made a statement to People soon after, noting that she was sorry for the hurt and embarrassment her and Rupert's short-lived affair had caused. She added, "My momentary indiscretion jeopardized the most important thing in my life, the person I love and respect the most, Rob. I love him, I'm so sorry."
By the way, please hit the subscribe button, it really helps us out. Okay, now back to the video.
Number 1. Bisexual. Despite her negative publicity she faced after the affair with Sanders, Kristen moved on and came out as bisexual when she began dating other women. Her first public relationship with a woman was in 2014 with Alicia Cargile, a producer. Then in 2016, she was romantically involved with Soko, a French singer. Soon after, she got together with St. Vincent, an indie rock singer. One of her most recent relationships was with Stella Maxwell, a Victoria's Secret model, but apparently things ended with these two around December 2018. Nowadays, Kristen is dating Sarah Dinkin, a stylist and successful blogger.
Today's featured comment comes from Michael on our Untold Truth of Angelina Jolie video. Thanks for the comment, Michael. Don't forget to leave your thoughts below and we might feature you in a future video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.